If you grew up in the 90s, there's a good chance you were a Power Rangers fan at some point. The franchise has seen something of a resurgence lately, what with the new film coming out this month. To tie in with that, Bandai Namco published a brand new video game titled Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle. The game presents us with an abridged version of the TV show's plot, covering seasons 1 and 2. Rita Repulsa has been awakened from her slumber and plans to conquer the Earth. An enigmatic being known as Zordon recruits 5 teenagers with attitude to fight back against Rita, and later Lord Zed. Now when I say abridged, I mean it. The game's spread across 6 levels, each split up into 3 stages, and can be beaten in around 3 hours, so the story does suffer from a rushed pace. Initially, you can play through the game as one of 5 Power Rangers, Jason, Zack, Billy, Trini, or Kimberly, though you'll unlock Tommy's Green Ranger midway through the campaign. If you have the more phenomenal DLC, you can also play as the White Ranger and Season 2 characters like Catherine. You can play the game with up to 3 friends at a time for some 4-player co-op action, but this is frustratingly limited to local multiplayer only, as there are no online features in this game. You can work around this with the PS4's SharePlay feature, but I was severely disappointed to find I couldn't team up with my friends. Once you're in the game, it's a simple matter of moving from left to right, beating up everything in your way. At the start of the game, you have access to a light attack, heavy attack, projectile, double jump, and dodge roll. Through defeating enemies, gaining experience points, and leveling up, you can learn new moves and combos, as well as extend your various meters. It'll take a while to gain that first level, and you'll spend a frustratingly long time using the same light attack combo on every enemy. Once you do have some more variety, including a screen-clearing special move, the combat still feels shallow with limited options. After you've given yourself those options, you'll start to question one particular design choice. You start every level unmorphed, and all you can do is a light attack combo, a dodge roll, and a single jump. You have to earn the right to morph by beating enemies or collecting blue orbs. Sometimes the game hands it to you within seconds, other times you have to get quite a ways into a level. It's incredibly annoying, and there's seemingly no reason for it. If you were given an experience multiplier or any other kind of bonus or incentive for battling in this state, there'd be an interesting risk and reward mechanic here, but as it stands, you'll just want to transform as quickly as possible. In terms of enemies, there's limited varieties. You'll battle hundreds of putties, which at least come in colour-coded variations with different patterns, as well as some enemies that I don't remember from the show, but whose basic shtick is wait for the obvious opening in their pattern, and then counterattack. It gets old quick, and the game can grind to a halt when you're just waiting out an enemy's attack animation. Also, is it just me, or do these bird enemies remind anyone else of Vegeta from Dragon Ball? The bosses don't fare much better. Dodge telegraphed attacks in a preset pattern, get in a couple of hits while they laugh to themselves, rinse, repeat. Once that's done, you'll take to the Megazord for 2 more battle phases. Phase 1 has you in first-person mode, shooting the monsters' weak spots with charged attacks while shooting down their projectiles before they can hit you. Phase 2 is a one-on-one brawl that looks like it'd be a Street Fighter clone, but is actually just a series of quick-time events. It's as dull as it looks. You'd think playing as Season 2 characters would give you the Thunder Megazord, playing as Green Ranger would grant you the Dragon Zord, and White Ranger the White Tiger Zord. But no, you get the Dino Megazord regardless of your character selection. Another missed opportunity. The only time you'll have any difficulty is when the game spams you with lots of different enemies at the same time. Just as one of them has an opening to attack, you find you can't get close because the other enemies are going through their own motions which you can't interrupt. The game's clearly balanced for at least 2 players and, due to the aforementioned lack of online modes, you'll usually be playing this solo. Control issues also caused a lot of unfair deaths. I found the controls would regularly lock, especially if I'd been moving right and then needed to go left. On several occasions, it caused me to leave my back open to my enemies through no fault of my own. There were also times when I'd use a stamina-depleting heavy attack twice in rapid succession, despite only pressing the button once. I've tested this with 2 DualShock 4s and my PlayStation Vita. I experienced the same problem across all 3. To have controllers freeze up in any game, let alone one of this nature, is unforgivable. The bland and repetitive gameplay would be tolerable if there was some energetic tunes getting you pumped up, but the music here is extremely lackluster, and you'll sometimes find there's no backing track at all. Surely they had access to the awesome soundtrack from the TV show, cheesy as it may be. Why didn't they use it? Where are the screeching guitars? Visually, the game looks like a mobile title. There's a very cartoony aesthetic with extra-large heads, but it's not quite chibi. While it's consistent, I personally don't like it. It makes the game feel cheap. The animations are poorly made, and you can see the individual parts the characters are made up of. The creative team also took the liberty of redesigning several key characters for the worse. What the hell have they done to Rita, Lord Zed, and the Megazord? Then we have the backgrounds. These are all digitally painted, but they look unfinished. Seriously, it's like someone laid down the foundation shapes and colours, and then never built upon them. Look at this room. I think these are supposed to be pipes on the floor, but instead of looking like rounded, fully rendered objects, they look like some lines my 4-year-old scribbled on. This is just lazy. In fact, lazy sums up the game quite nicely. A Power Rangers skinned Streets of Rage clone shouldn't be that difficult, and yet this team managed to screw it up. I'm not exaggerating when I say there are 20-year-old Power Ranger games on 16-bit consoles that nailed this concept far better than Mega Battle. It seems to me they had a deadline to meet and so pushed out an unfinished, unpolished game just so they could grab your cash before you go see the film. Thankfully, I only spent $11.99 on the game itself and 79p on the DLC. But unless you're a die-hard Power Rangers fan, all I can say is stay away. Before I go, a few of you have been asking me about Dead Rising 4 now that it's on Steam. I do have the game, I have started playing it, and a video review will be coming. However, I want to play through it a couple of times before I put my thoughts down. I do have some time off work coming up, so hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.